What's going on, guys? It's the Hockey Radar tracking drafts and prospects, and in today's video we have another addition to my 2026 draft series with defenseman for the Soo Greyhounds of the OHL, Chase Reid. He is the 5th defenseman of this series following Villeneuve, Rudolph, Lynn, and Verhoff, all of whose videos are on my channel, so make sure to go check that out as well as the rest of the series and tons of other prospect content. From Chesterfield, Michigan, Reid is a 17-year-old right-shot defenseman who turns 18 on December 30th. He joins the 4 other defensemen that I mentioned in a very defense and winger-heavy top 10 in 2026, and although right-shot defensemen are hard to come by in this league, there are several in this draft and he has a lot of competition if he wants to come out as one of the top defenders in this draft class. I would put Chase Reid in the same tier as other right-shot defensemen Ryan Lynn and Daxon Rudolph, and the tier just below top 3 contender Keaton Verhoff. Chase Reid is currently ranked between 10th and 15th overall by scouts around the league, and like I said, there are several players of the same position around the same rankings, so it will be hard for him to move up. Back in the 2023 OHL draft, Reid was a 7th round pick by the Soo Greyhounds, most likely due to the fact that he is American and that teams were unsure if he would take the OHL route, but his talents were much more worthy than a 7th round selection. In 2024-25, after being drafted, he would play 18 games in the North American Hockey League for the Bobcats, putting up 6 goals and 12 points in those 18 games, and then would join the Greyhounds and had a great rookie campaign with 7 goals, 33 assists for 40 points in just 39 games, plus 3 assists in 5 playoff games. He made an instant impact in the OHL and would make the league's first all-rookie team in 24-25. So far this season, as of this recording, he has 2 goals, 12 assists for 14 points in 15 games played, and I expect those numbers to go up now that top draft pick Brady Martin is returning to the team, and I project Reid to finish with 12 goals, 58 assists for 70 points in a 60-ish game season. Following this season and next, he is committed to Michigan State in 2027-28, meaning he is roughly 2 to 3 years out from the NHL. Overall, he projects to be a solid top 4 defenseman in this league, with potential to run a power play with his offensive talents. It should be noted that he has little to no international experience, especially at the U17 and U18 levels, most likely because he chose the OHL route and not the traditional American national team development program, and the US program usually won't bring American CHL players to international tournaments. For me, that hurts his draft stock, as international experience is a really good showing of how they can play against the best of the best, and so all we have to work off is his OHL experience, which isn't the most challenging of leagues. Watching Chase Reid play, he is a big body, mobile, offensively minded defenseman, similar build to Keaton Verhoff, a little smaller, both of whom I would compare to an Aaron Ekblad on the Panthers, tall, big shoulders, heavy shot, and high skill. Reid has a heavy wrist shot from both the slot and from the point, smart shooter overall, either gets it through the forwards or dumps it in deep, very few of his shots get blocked. He also has a very heavy slap shot, gets a lot of pucks on net, and they're hard enough that it's difficult for the goalie to swallow and freeze, which leads to lots of rebounds, and he picks up tons of assists from forwards crashing the net and picking up loose pucks. He is a decent skater, very mobile, and jumps up the ice. I'd like to see him continue work on his stride this season, become a smoother skater, as this would add a ton to his game and a ton to his draft stock, as there are some great skating defensemen like Lynn and Villeneuve in this draft. He's got good hands for a defenseman, and along with decent edge work, he can be deceptive on the blue line to beat the first forward and get the shot on net. He's got good patience with the puck when making passes, he can find teammates backdoor or in the slot in the O-zone, he keeps his head up breaking the puck out, he can find open teammates but some of his passes are a bit off, so he'll want to tighten that up this year to avoid turnovers and icing calls. He knows when to jump up on the play on offense, sneaking down into the slot and ripping the puck, but he's also smart enough that he doesn't get caught in too deep. He can quarterback a power play with his heavy shot, ability to get the puck through the forwards, and his playmaking talents. He has good defensive game too, he's got the size to be physical and win puck battles in the corner, his gap control and defensive positioning is decent, although there's always room for improvement in the D-zone, and becoming a more well-rounded defenseman could be huge for his draft stock, as lots of the defensemen ranked around him are very offensively minded. Overall, he is a strong, mobile offensive defenseman, with upside in the D-zone as well. Like all prospects, he has some holes in his game, but that can be tightened up this year. I think with a strong 70-plus point season, and strong in both ends of the ice, I could see him definitely creeping up into the top 10. Some teams who I could see picking Chase Reid at next year's draft. Like with every other defenseman I have talked about, I'm going to go with the Kraken. I initially had them finishing near the very bottom of the standings, but if Seattle keeps up their strong start and finishes with, say, a top 10 or top 12 pick, they should target one of the 3 available right-handed defensemen at that spot. If Ryan Lynn and Daxon Rudolph are already gone by then, Reid would be a great pickup for the Kraken. They would finally get their high-end defensive prospect to add to their young core. I personally don't think they'll keep up this current point pace, but will probably end up with a top 10 pick. But fortunately for them, there are so many talented defensemen available in that top 10 that they should really target one of them regardless of where they are picking. And unless someone like McKenna or Stenberg is available, they should leave all forwards on the table to take a defenseman. Next up, the New York Rangers could use a player like Chase Reid, especially considering the start they are having, and it looks like they'll be in for a top 10 pick this year. After Adam Fox, there's a pretty large drop off on that right side, and I think Reid could be a solid pickup for them. Chase Reid would join a solid youth movement in New York with Gabe Perreault, Emery, and Malcolm Spence, and maybe some, if not all, can join the current stars like Fox and Shesterkin to get them back on track within the next few years. Lastly, the Bruins could look at Chase Reid next offseason, especially considering their current trajectory and after moving Brandon Carlo for a forward last year. Chase Reid could be a solid second pair right-handed defenseman behind Charlie McAvoy and run their second power play. The Bruins have taken some talented forwards in the last few drafts and already have Minton and Poitras in the minors, so I think targeting a defenseman would be what's best for them in the long run. Reid also has the size and physicality that fits the mold of a Bruins player, and I think he could fit perfectly in the new Boston era that is starting to emerge. That's it for Chase Reid. He's definitely got some talent and potential, but a lot of other defensemen stand in his way of being a top 10 pick. With a strong season, he could make a case for himself and grab the attention of any team looking for a top 4 right-handed defenseman with offensive upside. I project Reid to go in the early teens, maybe 12 or 13, but if any of the teams that I mentioned earlier are picking in the top 10 and several of the other defensemen have already been selected, he could squeak his way into that top 10. Comment down below what you guys think and where you think Chase Reid would fit best. Like and subscribe and stay tuned for tons more prospect content.